Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I want to have a little candid discussion. I want to have an open conversation about something that I've been thinking about and pondering on, and it kind of goes with what we've been talking about lately. So I want to talk about how to navigate your friendships and your relationships when your life is changing, when you are manifesting a whole new life, you guys. There's a lot that comes with it. And if you ever really think about it, the first line of defense when you actually really start to notice your life changing is mainly through your relationships and your friendships. And I think it has a lot to do with because our friends and our family, they know us to be a certain way up until a certain point. So of course, when you start shifting and changing, of course, things get a little shifty in your relationships as the new paradigm starts to take root, okay? So I'm just thinking for myself, you guys, I've been kind of going through a little phase, a little transition in my life to where a lot of things are changing, and I'm in the process of allowing a lot of things to change in my life. And that's anywhere from my relationships and even my business and a lot. And I'm on to really trying to figure out what my purpose really is. And I find through doing these videos as I've been doing, and I want to say it's been about a month since I've been consistent with posting videos almost every day. Well, every day pretty much. I've been consistent with posting videos, and I've been noticing a lot about myself and a lot about what I want, but also just the natural changes that are occurring to push me into the direction, one where I thought would take quite some time to get to, but it's actually kind of happening a lot faster than I've expected. So the first thing, you guys, you want to be very honest with yourself and honesty about what you want in your life, and being honest with the fact that you need to accept and acknowledge that things are going to change when you are manifesting your new life, or just getting anything new in your life definitely requires you to become a different person. So it's not necessarily that people are mainly upset with you in a way that you're changing, although they might be. But if you can actually think about it, like I said, you have been a certain way up until that point that they know you to be. And of course, to obtain or get the things that you want out of life, you have to embody a different energy. You have to embody a different identity to be able to have those things and to keep those things, correct? So of course that requires you to become a different person. And what I've been noticing with me is a lot of my friendships have been a little challenged recently, and just from everything in my life is just kind of breaking down and kind of reshaping itself. And I think this was the first time that I've really been able to catch it, because like I said, I said it in quite a few videos that when I relocated and I got the new level that I'm at now, I realized that a lot of things started happening in my life, and I started internalizing a lot of things when certain relationships would change. And it just kind of threw me, and it kind of takes you off track. So if you can acknowledge that there are things going on in your life right now that are certainly changing for the better, and you have come to that acceptance point, I think you'll be able to navigate your friendships a little differently. Now, for me, your friendships or your relationships with your family, everyone, because what it does is when you start to shift, of course, the dynamics in your relationships do change, you guys. This is a given, because you have to give people the space to start to learn the new you, start to accept the new you, and start to see if you guys mesh well together. Because the reality of it is, you guys, that if you're friends with people, or if you have certain people, even your relationship, your intimate partnership, if you have those relationships in your life, they are built off of your current identity or your old identity that you are moving out of. And it worked because you were that person, or you embodied that energy that meshed well with them. And when you start to change, and this could be for good or bad, you guys. Like, you can use it in any situation, but I'm mainly specifically talking about when you are becoming that person to manifest that life you want, or to just get on the next level, to level up, guys. Then acknowledge that your friendships and your relationships, they are going to have to change because you are changing. And the thing is, when you change, everything else outside you changes, of course. So what I've noticed is that I've had to just allow whatever happens to happen. And there have been a few friendships where we have kind of gotten into it. And, you know, you just acknowledge that you guys are just going down different paths, and you just realize, okay, like, I love that person and I love the space that we have shared for this specific time period in my life. I don't take that for granted, but everybody is not going to be able to come with you to that next level. Everyone is not going to be able to, and their energy and who they are might not be able to support the current path that you are going down, and vice versa. You may not be able to be that friend for them. And so I believe, since I've been catching it now, I've realized, even for me myself, when I have kind of acted out in a way where I wasn't understanding of why certain people in my life wanted to do certain things, or try to become a different person, like, why it kind of shook me up, because, you know, it kind of disrupted the flow. And it's like, of course I had to accept that this person is becoming a new version of themselves. I too can recognize that I have that same tendency that we all have to kind of get a little frazzled when what we know, like the comfort of that person that we know, shifts. And so this has helped me to kind of just allow and hold space to understand, but also not to dim my progress or to back down from where I am headed in my life. And I know that since our relationships are the closest thing to us to really recognize that our life is actually really changing, like, that is where we see it first, you guys. Like, I always tell people, when I know that I'm coming into a new version of myself, or something is happening where it's shifting into my favor, I notice that my relationships get pretty rocky with others, but it's also because you are changing, right? So one of the things that I will tell you guys is, during this time period, you want to kind of keep in mind that you do not need to internalize every slight, every miscommunication. Don't take it and place it as something that is negative to you, because a lot of people will have those projections. This goes along with all the videos that I made last week, you guys. Most people are going to project out their insecurities or where they are in their life when they see that you are progressing and headed in a direction that may not include them. So when you see that and you can understand that, it makes you have a little bit more compassion for people, a little bit more empathy for people. Now, I'm not saying to just accept whatever they are throwing at you. If someone is being very disrespectful, yes, you might have to check them. But for the majority of it, I can understand now for myself, like, okay, like, I understand why they are that way. And you can only encourage people to a certain extent, but everybody does not have the same path that you have. And sometimes you have to know when to get off and let people off your train, so that way you can keep going, okay? So this is a part of life, you guys, and this is a part to, even not just for you, but it is also for other people to realize that they may need to figure out what they want to do with their life, or where they want to go with their life, or if they're fine with the way that they are, then they need to accept it. But I find that most people get upset because sometimes people are not doing the things that they genuinely want to do in life, and it kind of is a slight. They take it as a slight, and this is for people who just internalize things. They take it as a slight that you are progressing in your life, and that you are not making them a priority, or you're not making the relationship such a big priority. And one of the things, you guys, you have to do when you are going on to the journey to where you are changing your identity or you are becoming someone totally different, you have to kind of, I wouldn't say like isolate yourself, although that tends to work pretty decently for me. But you have to kind of pull back your energy from everything and everyone in times where your old paradigm is breaking down. And I say that so that way you won't backtrack in your manifestation, or you won't backtrack on the progress that you have already made, because this is where you are in that space of instilling that self-trust in yourself, that regardless of whatever is happening on the outside of you, that you yourself, like, you are trusting that you know the way, you are trusting that everything works out. And it's kind of hard for you to let that whole thought process take root when you are still interacting with people who are a part of your old paradigm. And that does not mean that people don't get to come with you to that next level. I have my bestest friend, and I'm just gonna tell a little story. So when I moved here, she moved here too, ironically. So we moved here, but she moved here a whole year before I did. Her husband is in tech, so it makes sense for them to move to Austin. But when I moved here, I was just on that quest to really just be happy with like being by myself and doing things for myself. So I told her that, you know, we hadn't seen each other for a while, and I wanted her to join one of my workout classes with me, just to kind of just be there with me and let's spend time together, and to show her some of the things that I've been working on that I now like and I want to add to my life. So I shared that with her. We worked out together, but her thing was, we were always so used to telling each other everything and sharing everything with each other. And I was at a place in my life where I wanted to pull back my energy and focus more on myself. So when I did that, and I kind of got upset because she wanted to start making it her thing too, where she wanted to do it, but she wanted to do it just to stay close to me. But in my head, I'm like, okay, well, we already have done a lot together, but this is the one thing that I want for myself. And I sat down with her and I told her like, hey, like, this is where I am in my life. You know, I'm happy that you want to join in this with me. And although it might seem like a small thing, this is for me. I want to do this by myself. Yes, please come do it every once in a while, but don't make it a habit, because I don't want to see you like everywhere, like, and have you involved in everything that I am doing to heal myself. This is when I started to really spend so much time with myself, you guys, and this is what I recommend you to do. So if you have like people in your life that you genuinely care about, yes, share with them the things that you would like to do, but make it a known fact that, hey, this is my thing and I don't want it to become our thing. And that's fine, because what I love about my best friend, she was very understanding about it. And she was very understanding about it to the point where she might have been upset for a day, of course. Like, if you tell anybody that, like, I don't want you to make it your thing too, of course they're going to get upset. But she understood. And she understood the process that I was going through, because she herself has a very successful business, and she, you know, very well known on social media and all. And she understood what I was really trying to convey. So she called me the next day and she told me that she understood where I am in my life, and she really respects that, and she'll join me every once in a while, but she knows it's my thing, and she wants to give me the space to be able to do that. And the one thing I will say that made the difference, because I had this conversation with other friends who were not really, let's just say that we're no longer in each other's lives over disagreements about who I was becoming. But the one thing I will say about my best friend is that she has her own path in life and her own goals in life, and that she works hard to become a better person. She really puts effort into evolving herself and her mindset. So for us to have that conversation, she definitely understood. And so one thing I want to tell you guys is, when you are going through this process, it is very imperative that you surround yourself with people who are on a journey to self-improvement. So that way they won't take what you are building or what you want out of life as slights, or where a lot of things can happen where there's jealousy, competition, or, you know, where they try to dim you down or try to talk negatively on the things that you are pursuing. You need to get around people who are on a journey for their own self-identity, or they're on a journey to manifest the things that they want out of life, or they have certain goals that they are waking up and putting effort towards. Like, those are the people that you want in your life, that you associate with while you're going through this phase, more so on a consistent basis than your people who just, hold on you guys, my dog is outside, and whenever other dogs walk by, she gets a little, okay. But anyway, she's so cute. But so yeah, you guys, hang out with people who will understand what you're going through, and it won't be so much of a competition. You guys can walk together on your own paths instead of you trying to drag other people with you on your own path when they have their own paths. And not everybody wants to change. Not everybody wants to put in effort to go down a different path. Not everybody stands up and says, this is what I'm going to do regardless of whatever comes with it. Whoever leaves, whoever decides to stay, what habits need to go. Like, a lot of people don't have that direct, like, mindset where they can do that. So to keep you from backtracking, you have to do a lot of this journey solo when you are in the process of embodying a new identity or becoming your ideal self. So what I'm really saying here, you guys, is to spend more time with yourself and surround yourself and start doing things that help to support your new identity. So whether you see your new identity as someone who gets up at 5 a.m., does all their little work on their computer, goes to work out, goes to their job, like, you have to start adding little things in to put forth that action to align yourself with that. And a lot of it definitely should be by yourself, you guys. This is where you definitely build self-trust, and to not internalize what's going on. I think the sure sign to know that your manifestation is on its way is because your relationships are usually the first thing to take a hit. And it's not a negative thing. It really isn't. You have to have that deciding factor that regardless if you are going to stay in this relationship or not, like, that can't stop you from becoming that person that you want to be, or that can't stop you from doing the things that you know is necessary, because we're going to go through these phases in our life and we learn through other people. It's not that we're learning lessons, yes, but our relationships with each other is where we really get to really know ourselves. Your relationships with the people closest to you tells you a lot about yourself, you guys. So use that as a way to kind of see, like, okay, this is where I am. And depending on how you respond to the situations, you could be understanding. You can ask them, you know, to join you on this journey if you truly want to, but don't let people slow you down. Don't let people impart doubt in your mind. Don't let people project their thoughts and their ideas onto you about how you should go about certain things, how you should do certain things, unless they have already been to where you are, you guys. It's a very sensitive time when you are changing your life, because we are so used to having our support system the way that it is, as it is currently in this paradigm that you are in, and then you are stepping out into the unknown whenever you decide to make that life change for yourself. So give yourself a little bit of grace as you're going through this period, because it is a little, you know, disheartening at times, and it is lonely and it is sad. But guys, this is where you build that self-trust. This is where you build that muscle to where you understand that I know where I'm going, I know where I'm heading, along with doing all the other manifestation things, you guys. But I don't think we talk about it enough, like how to navigate our relationships and allowing whatever comes from that to just shape us into being a better friend. And you could gauge your own self throughout this, that you can learn how to be a better friend. You can learn how to do things different, you guys. You are not perfect yourself, and you have these same traits to do other people that way too. So if anything, this made me realize like how I've been in the past when my friends wanted to make certain changes, or even in my my ex, like how he wanted to do certain things and I just kind of was like frazzled because no, we've been doing this consistently, right? So we have that in us to do that too to others. So now that I've recognized this and I realize this from this place in my life, I realized this from my place in my life, you guys, that where I am, I need to just allow, and I need to just try to hold space for people. But at the end of the day, I won't allow it to slow me down. And I'm just in a space in my life, you guys, where this has been fun making these videos. Making these videos has taught me so much about myself and about what I feel like I want to do with my life. And it's just a lot of things that I'm just questioning right now, and new goals that I have all of a sudden. And I realized that since I've started putting my intention in that direction, like a lot of things are coming undone. And I just realized like this is the start of the cycle of where your manifestation is coming in. So I know it seems bleak and it seems like very like dark and like hard for us to let go of certain things, habits, people, and places, you guys. But this is where we grow. This is where we understand like that healthy detachment, that loving detachment from that paradigm and from those people, because sometimes we might have to leave certain people behind because of the habits that they have. We don't want them to rub off on us when we go to these new places if we're trying to start certain habits. And who's to say that you guys won't connect in the future when things are better, or when you have the mindset and you have the stable mindset to not go backwards, you guys. Sometimes you have to stay away long enough for your self-concept to be built up, for your strength to be built up. And that's not personal towards anyone. That's for you. All right. So this one was a little rant, but I think it's important. I think it's important to kind of just think like, okay, like if your relationships and things around you and how you interact with people is starting to get a little shaky, this is the start of kind of redefining your identity, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna relax tonight. I'm gonna relax with my dog and watch some movies, and I hope that you guys have an amazing week. You guys have an amazing week. We're gonna have more videos, more topics, and more things to discuss. And I want you guys to get down in the comments, you guys. Please leave me some comments and show your girls some love. And thank you to everyone who shared these videos with your friends, you guys. Thank you for sharing my channel, and thank you for just resonating with me as always, you guys. And I love that you're here. So I hope that you have a good one wherever you are. Thank you so much. Bye.